It's very important to protect all people from exploitation, but especially children. It's very, very important to have laws that are enforced and have vigorous law enforcement officers who make sure that those who do wrong are apprehended and the people are protected. Children are a gift from God. Carl Sandburg, who was the great poet laureate of our state once upon a time, said the birth of a baby is God's opinion that the world should go on. And I believe in that. I believe God meant that. And I think it's important that we protect our children in Illinois from all forms of exploitation, and especially from sexual exploitation. And so the legislation I'm going to be signing today is a very important law, a leading law, where Illinois is leading the way for other states to protect children from trafficking, human trafficking that's exceptionally cruel and vicious.
When Governor Quinn signs this new law today, the most vulnerable children in the state of Illinois will have important new protections against one of the most horrific crimes a child could ever be subjected to. The Illinois Safe Children's Act is one of the most comprehensive and sweeping pieces of legislation to be enacted across the country, aimed at protecting children who are victims of sex trafficking. This new law has been crafted to safeguard children who are being forced into a life of prostitution. It also provides police and prosecutors with important new tools to fight the human trafficking group that exploits these children. One of the really important points that I would like to make is that I think many of us do not realize that domestic sex trafficking of minor children is a crisis here in our very own communities. While it is often perceived to be just an international issue, it is occurring right here in our very own backyards, often hidden from plain sight. From complex trafficking rings to individuals who may be exploiting their own children or others in secret, it is taking place right here. Illinois currently has one of the highest rates of calls on the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless estimates that more than 6,000 at-risk children are being trafficked each year here in Cook County alone. And police and prosecutors continue to encounter vulnerable young women and men who are engaging in what we are referring to as survival sex, exchanging sex for food, clothing, or safe place to sleep. From my perspective, the system we have here in Illinois to address the problem has been broken. Although our state enacted anti-human trafficking laws in 2006, there have been virtually no effective prosecutions, and those that have occurred have been reactive and generally have been built around the testimony of just the child victim. My staff and I have been working very hard in the recent months to address this problem. We began a human trafficking initiative with law enforcement partners to conduct long-term proactive investigations, taking a new approach, treating children as victims, because they are victims, not prostitutes, making cases victim-centered and not victim-built. And what I mean by that is centering around that particular victim, but not solely relying on his or her testimony in order to convict the offender. Establishing relationships with social service providers. We quickly realized that if we were going to be effective, more effective in our efforts, that we needed to amend our state's existing criminal code. And we worked very hard with legislators, our sponsors who are with us here today, and a number of social service agencies to draft the Safe Children's Act.
Okay, well, Anita, this important law is now the law of the land of Lincoln, and I really thank you for your great work. Thank you very much.